KPop Demon Hunters. Not at all the kind of movie I would usually go out of my way to see. I'm very much not exactly the target demographic. K-pop, kinda goes over my head. That being said, the Demon Hunters movie is the latest from Sony Animation and oddly enough goes straight to Netflix. It's a choice, but hey, I'll keep up with it now. And in a lot of ways, I went into this movie not fully understanding all of the references and what it's going on for. As I understand it, there's a good bit of Korean mythology, and of course all sorts of cultural choices in there as well. But as a newbie that doesn't naturally register most of these details, I think it came across pretty well, such that I understood it perfectly. We're not exactly reinventing the wheel and creating a whole new system or anything, but for being a movie that I usually am not used to seeing from a new perspective and a new lens, this was incredibly refreshing to me. And I think I gotta say, just right up front, this movie's pretty damn good. I can't quite get a full read on exactly how popular it is. This is a Netflix movie, so we don't exactly have statistics for the box office, per se. But at least the early numbers coming in from reviews actually give it outright things like 91 and 95%. I don't fully agree with that, but across so much of just the visuals and the quality of the animation alone, you can see this is just an hour and a half of eye candy. Sony is very much the animation studio leading the charge right now, whether it's Mitchell's vs. Machines or Spider-Verse having all sorts of rippling effects. It is seen all the more here by the actual people that made it, with just this eclectic, brilliant stylization that I can't fully pin down. They've got proper anime and manga style expressions going on, funky directorial choices with literal eye candy moments, and the choreography, the fight scenes are so immaculately done. This is just a masterclass of a good, simple, entertaining movie. The premise itself is pretty extreme and crazy. What if K-pop bands were actually demons and demon hunters? They fight each other in the night, and then they fight each other in the charts in the day. It's not quite fully that. Demons being a K-pop boy band is a new thing even in this universe, but it's just a great fun idea and is just refreshing and new. It's nice to see a new presentation of an industry I'm otherwise not crazy into. And hey, it's kind of a nice new spin, a new genre for a musical, and it works across the board really well. The plot follows Huntress, the trio K-pop girl band, very much giving me the kind of vibes of Totally Spies, whereby they are secretly demon hunters, but otherwise they are a K-pop band with a massive amount of success, and they're very nonchalant. They're very good at what they do. Fighting demons and winning is an easy battle for them, and there is a system put in place where most demons are planted underneath the ground in a kind of barrier that they're almost on the precipice of fully locking down to eliminate all demons. On the other side of things, you then have this ultimate fire demon, the Demon King, now pushing out a new strategy with a K-pop boy band collection of demons that can turn into a more humanoid versions of themselves to both fight back against the K-pops on the charting side of things, as well as weakening them to eventually alleviate the barrier blocking all demons. You've then got one additional layer that blurs the lines between demon hunters and demons, whereby the main character also has the same tattoo lines of a demon because they are half hunter, half demon, and they've got some alliance issues and wondering about their identity, and maybe demons aren't so bad, and what do? They're gonna get rid of the tattoos when they break the barrier. That is, for the most part, the full extent of the narrative. You get some fun little chemistry interactions with the main trio that works really well. There's a little bit of a romance chemistry between the main demon and the main K-pop star. And the main impressive part of the movie beyond that is then just the visual eye candy, the directorial choices, and just the animation throughout as everything unfolds. It's otherwise, narratively, a relatively simple story, and I think that's okay. Clearly, the audiences and critics absolutely adore it, and though my personal taste in movies is one that has a bit more emotional depth and layering, there are some emotional scenes, sure, but there's certainly a lot more room in this narrative that could be told that I feel like maybe a series would be able to expand more, or probably what's more likely, a whole collection of sequels. This could be a franchise easily. There are breadcrumbs of ideas in multiple directions they could take on. And would I be the kind of person that would recommend this movie? Absolutely. The soundtrack is absolutely fantastic, as it should be. They've got real K-pop stars and bands involved in the soundtrack, so of course that's going to work out pretty well. The performances as well, the actual voice performances were really well well done, and what few emotional scenes there were genuinely worked with a nice piece of chemistry throughout. The visuals, I've already raved to you a couple of times. You can see it yourself, it looks pretty damn good. And if you're okay with a relatively simple story, good girls versus bad boys, good versus evil demons, then yeah, I think this is more than a palatable movie that everyone can enjoy, and clearly it is. It's one of the top movies right now on Netflix, if not just because it is new and it is Sony. That being said, for me, I've not really got any more major praises to say because of the simplicity of this movie. I've got a decent list of criticisms. They're nitpicks and they're all narrative because me personally, I really love digging into the narratives and the world building. And all of it really comes down to is the strict short runtime of this whole film. Hello there, you have now made it to the halfway mark of this video. Come subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. With it being two rivaling boy bands, a trio of 3 and a quintrio of 5, 4 of the demon boys don't really get any kind of character to them. They have archetypes of K-pop idols with different hairstyles and the like. And there could have been room to explore more of their opinions, as the main demon is a little bit more 50-50 on the whole idea. He's a lot more contested and conflicted as things go, but that's probably one of the smaller problems I have. One of the bigger ones is the whole reveal identity around the protagonist character, whereby they talk about how their father was a demon and their mother was a hunter, but that never comes out again. You'd think that would be like an integral part of their identity or understanding maybe demons aren't so bad, and they come to that conclusion, and then they kill the demons anyway. The ending is very much, oh, they were bad, kill them anyway. Oh, look, the bad guy sacrificed himself, so he was good in his final moments, but he wasn't forgiven. And that's fine. It's not a fake-out death, which is appreciated, but it's also a little something lackluster. Similarly, there's the whole concept of a demon king, right? Really down in the depths, and they make an appearance in the final concert battle sequence, but they are just a giant flame, and when they appear on the surface, directorially, it's fantastic. They're visually shown in the stadium, and I don't think they're actually there, they're just inside the protagonist's heads, because they can get in the heads of demons. That's a whole thing. Cool, okay, not explored, but alright. But as this giant flame, it also only appears as a giant flame, whereas I feel like there was going to be a reveal of the demons are let loose, the barrier fully breaks, and the Demon King returns. They don't, they're just a flame. Again, for someone who's very narratively driven, I was expecting a slightly bigger climax, but also, it's okay. You're allowed to be simple. It's just not 100% fully my thing. I remember when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was really on board with the super stylistic choices of some of the expressions, like characters having corn on the cobs in their eyes, it gets hit with hot butter, and then it boils into popcorn. Brilliant! That then becomes a recurring expression. In fact, it's basically the only other expression other than your generic heart eyes, and maybe dollar eyes? I doubt though. When it becomes a point where every time a character's on screen, 2 other characters then just have popcorn come out their eyes is nice, but it's less nice when it's the only funky expression they do. There are other elements here and there. By the end, the demons are able to fully disguise themselves as humans as like a surprise, hey, they can do that now. Makes sense that they can have a human design for themselves, but mimicking other people, I feel like that could have been done a lot sooner as like a well-established idea. And similarly, there's the premise of tattoos spreading over the protagonist's body, and then it starts to block their voice until 2 weeks later, it's not really blocked their voice. If it's an identity thing and they started to understand themselves, then cool, but I'm not necessarily getting out those themes, whereas I would have done if it was a series, you know? There's just like more here under the surface, but they just sort of skim it in a way that I felt a little underwhelming. And already, that is pretty much the end of my notes I've got listed here. It's a few nitpicks, sure, I feel like I'm gonna be the most cynical person talking about it on the internet right now, but it's just simply because the story's simple. And I personally would like it if there was more of that emotional conflict, or just not the ending of all demons are killed because they're bad, even though my father was a demon, he's not around, and also, I assume he was bad as well. Like, there's a little bit on the thematics of demons are only bad that gets played with and then not reaching its full potential as an ending. But considering throughout this video alone you're seeing all sorts of shuffled footage, you can see everything else. The actual execution, fantastic. The performance, the directing, the soundtrack, immaculate. I would love for this to be a franchise, because not only is it refreshing, it's just good, but it is just good. Great, yeah. Masterpiece, excellent. No. There's a hint of that anticlimax, and when you overlook the whole thing again, it could have pushed more boundaries. Of course, maybe that's asking a lot. Sony has already pushed the boundaries of animation in this industry so far by itself, and Netflix as well, as a colossal titan that it is, has pushed the boundaries of where animation and filmmaking has gone in general in its industry. And maybe this was just a movie playing it safe. The director Maggie Can is having their first directorial debut, and the co-director and writer is Chris Applehans, who other than this did Netflix's Wish Dragon, so they're both fairly new, and maybe on the writing side they wanted to keep things more simple. And that's valid, that's fine. Wish Dragon before only had 71% and 78%, so this is a marked improvement. And though I don't fully agree with the 90s, I think this could comfortably sit in the 80% for me. Very, very good, would recommend, simple family fun, characters are great, would love to see more of them. And yeah, admittedly, it would have been nice to see it theatrically too. But that's just not the deal with this Sony-Netflix collaboration. For now, I'm going to end it off there. My name's been Daz, thank you very much for reaching the end of this review. Do tell me your thoughts on K-Pop Demon Hunters. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts and more. Do you think this will become a franchise? Does it have the room to do that? And I shall see you all in a little bit. Cheerio!